Allegations of sexual harassment against Judge Thomas. More at 11. Good evening. I'm Toni Chappell. Our KOVR 13 top story at 10 o'clock. American hostage Carey Anderson delivering a hopeful message from his captors that Western hostages may taste freedom soon. We'll show you today's videotape tonight at 11. Also coming up, we invited veterans of the Gulf War to watch tonight's movie Heroes of Desert Storm. Find out what they think of this part recreation, part real-life drama. Join us for coverage you count on right here on KOVR 13 tonight at 11 o'clock. We'll see you then.
Is the program you're watching realistic, or is it a little over-dramatized? Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Joncich. Coming up on KOVR 13 News at 11, here with some real Desert Storm heroes. Think of the ABC movie airing tonight. Also, these pictures of American hostage Carey Anderson were just released today. Hear the important message they carry. And see how someone managed to crash Liz Taylor's wedding today despite the tightest security in the business. Stay up for KOVR 13 News tonight at 11 o'clock.
An American held in Lebanon delivers a message of hope tonight, hope that his ordeal may soon be over. Next on 13 News, hear what his captors are telling the world.
Also, pro-life activists create a life chain across America today. We'll show you the Northern California link in that chain. And you just saw the movie, now get a critique from the real-life heroes of Desert Storm.
Liz Taylor is just moments away from saying, I do. A live report on the wedding of the century coming up on KOVR 13 News at 5.
You're watching KOVR 13, Stockton, Sacramento, Modesto. And now, with today's top story, Paul Joncich, Bill Taylor's weather, John Hank with sports, and the entire 13 top story team. This is KOVR 13 News at 5.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Our 13 top story tonight, the pro-life movement staging one of its largest demonstrations of the year.
It stretched from the far reaches of Northern California to the very bottom of the state. Thousands of pro-choice advocates lining the streets of Citrus Heights today, also forming what they call the second annual Capitol Life Chain. Tom Layson is at the intersection of Sunrise and Greenback now with more details on today's demonstration. Tom?
Well, Tony, most of the participants have gone home now, but starting at about 2:30 this afternoon, thousands of pro-life demonstrators lined the streets here, hoping to convert the undecided. Obviously, we have the wrong tape queued up there, and I will capsulize to the best of my abilities what occurred here. Basically, several thousand people, like I said, did line the intersection of Sunrise and Greenback, and they extended out to the highways in both directions. Very peaceful demonstration, no arrests. People just trying to make the point that they believe abortion is wrong. A few counter demonstrations took place to a very small magnitude. Nothing really amounted to that. No confrontations, like I said, no arrests. And all in all, about 2 hours of demonstrations out here hoping to make the point that abortion is wrong. And of course, that's the message today, and in counter to yesterday's message by the pro-choice advocates in San Francisco. Paul? Tony?
Okay, thank you very much, Tom. Sorry we didn't have that tape. We are looking for it. We'll try and get the rest of that story in just a few moments. Thanks, Tom. Well, pro-life groups in 64 other California cities and 350...
Send a message. Good evening. We'll get to that story for you in just a moment.
But first, late-breaking news about... Time to stop into church this morning. Surprised and worried parishioners then called authorities. The 9th grader hadn't been back to his East Stockton home since early Friday morning. His disappearance stunned prominent Stockton leaders. Many of them know Casalas personally because of his active role in local government.
Yeah, usually we have the kids from the various high schools that have to come for a social class, social science class or whatever. They sit there for the required hour, and then they're out of there as soon as the second half passes the 12 o'clock. But Raymond will come there, and he'll stay until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, listening to what goes on.
Great kid, you know, the future of a community.
Now, Casalas was taken to Mary Graham Children's Center in French Camp. Police say he ran away because of family problems.
In other news today, Sacramento police may file homicide charges against the father of a 3-month-old girl who died this weekend. Robert Serrano was arrested 2 months ago when his little girl was found blind and brain damaged. Now, she'd been severely shaken and held under a shower. The coroner now says that shaking is what caused that baby's death, and he'll turn the case over to police. Coroner also saying he'll investigate the death of another Serrano infant daughter just a year and a half ago. Well, here's a frightening story if you spend any time at the beach. Another shark has taken a bite out of a surfer off the Northern California coastline. 33-year-old John Fiera says the shark came up from underneath his surfboard off the beach near Davenport. That's near Santa Cruz. The shark bit into him and bit half of his board in half. Fiera survived the attack by shoving half of the surfboard into the shark's mouth. Fiera's in stable condition after being airlifted to Stanford for surgery. You'll remember another surfer fought off a similar shark attack in the Santa Cruz area this summer. It took 400 stitches to sew up his gashes.
Well, today's the day. The story everyone is talking about, Liz Taylor's wedding day. We have a live report coming up next.
Big number 8. They say it'll be a lucky one for Liz. Also ahead on 13 News, trouble for the man most likely to win a seat on the Supreme Court. Here are the latest charges against Clarence Thomas.
And Roseville puts up the no smoking sign all over town today. We'll tell you where you can and can't smoke next.
Live for staged at what they call
The Life Chain in Citrus Heights today, possibly the largest demonstration of the year for that group. Here's Tom's story.
Thousands of people came out. Most carried a 3-word blue and white sign reading simply, "Abortion kills children."
The children are, have no voice, and so we're here on their behalf to make sure they get a fair shake.
I just want people to know what is going on with the abortions is wrong. It's against what God has said in his word, and when he says something, it is forever.
God's the only one that has the right to take a life, and abortion does kill.
One of the main pro-choice groups said it decided not to stage a counter-demonstration today. Another said it would, but it never seemed to materialize. The only words of dissent came from passers-by waiting in traffic.
I don't believe in it.
Kind of fanatical.
Very fanatical.
Behavior.
And I think the people that are driving past here and giving them even the time of day are weak.
Pro-choice, pro-choice. It's America. America. Nobody has the right to say anything. Pro-choice.
And as we reported earlier, that Life Chain was designed to stretch through 64 cities in the state and 350 cities in the country. In other news today, if you want to light up in a public